hair may look a little bit different. That is because today my hair is a little bit shorter than it usually is. And that is because I was so bored today. I was at home, I had nothing to do, so I decided to fake cut my hair. And how I did that was I pinned up my lower sections of hair to a shorter length, and because I have long layers, I was able to just leave the top section alone and just lay it over the top of everything, and that just disguises the bobby pins that I used to pin up the lower sections. So right now my hair is still the same length that it always is. I actually, a few years ago, I got a really bad haircut and I had to cut my hair above my shoulder. So after that, I said I would never, ever, ever, ever again cut my hair short. And I don't have the urge to cut my hair short right now, but this is for those of you who are at home and have had the urge to cut your own hair, or are thinking that you have really long hair and you want to cut your hair pretty short. And that might be a good idea, but at the same time, that's a really drastic change. So you may want to try this out to see if you walk around for the day with the shorter hair, if you still like it at the end of the day, and if it's something that you would actually want to have done permanently. So it's really simple. All you need are some elastic bands and bobby pins, and that is again to just pin up the lower sections of hair. If you have bobby pins that are close to your hair color, I would definitely recommend using those because it will be easier to disguise them, and if one happens to pop out, it won't be as noticeable as it would be if I had like a black bobby pin in my hair right now that popped out.
To start, you're going to section off a small section of hair on the bottom towards the back of your head. I would section the same amount that you would if you were to section your hair to curl the first layer on the bottom. Now you're going to take an elastic band and tie off half of that section. So just make a part down the center of it and tie off one of the sections. It's going to depend on how long your hair is right now, but as you can see, I pulled the elastic band down about halfway down that section that I had tied off. And now I'm just flipping that up and using bobby pins to pin it, and I'm pinning it to the length that I want my bob or lob to be. Next, let down a new section of hair. I am letting down my sides as well, and right now I'm taking an elastic band and I'm doing the same thing that I just did in the back. I'm going to tie off the section on my first left side, and I'm moving that band down, and then I'm going to pin that section up. I'm just flipping it up and adding a couple of bobby pins, and I'm making sure that the length is the same or very close to the length that I have pinned up in the back. And I'm grabbing a new section now. I'm doing the same thing. It's going to depend on how thick or thin your hair is, how many sections you have to do this with. The bobby pins that I'm using are black because I ran out of my lighter colored bobby pins, so that is going to make it trickier to disguise the bobby pins. Luckily I have really thick hair, so I shouldn't have much of a problem, but if you had thinner hair, that might be an issue trying to cover them up. Another thing that I will add is when you're pinning your hair up towards the front and placing the bobby pins, try not to pin the bobby pins too close to your face, because if they're pinned close to your face, there's just not hair that can be covered over it that will disguise it, so it's going to make it really tricky to make this look realistic. I'm going to the other side and I'm doing the same thing. I'm pinning up the hair, making sure that it's even with the left side that I just pinned up. Once you pin up a section of hair, if you ever notice that it looks a little bit shorter than the hair that you had pinned up on the other side, you don't have to entirely take it down. You can kind of just gently pull on that section, and that will just move a little bit more of your hair down, and that can help to even it out. If you pin the section and it looks longer than the other side, then you are going to have to take it down to adjust it. I'm pinning up my last section from this layer of hair, and then I'm going to let the rest of my hair down. You'll see once I let that hair down, because I do have layers in my hair, that top section I'm really not going to have to do much with because it's already going to be close to the perfect length for this style. So you can see as I let my hair down, especially in the front, that is the perfect length for this lob. And in the back, I do have to pin up a couple of pieces. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing a section and I'm adding a little bit of tease, and that is just going to help so that I have some volume when I lay my top section over it, which will help to kind of just disguise things and also give me a little bit of body in my hair. And I'm twisting it this time. I'm not adding an elastic band because it's just easier to disguise the bobby pin compared to the bobby pin and the elastic band. And I let down the top layer over it, and that layer is the perfect length, so I don't have to do anything with it. If I had to do the same thing on the left side that I just did with the back of my right side, then I would just twist the hair and pin it up, but it looks perfect just like that. So now when you're pinning your hair up, if you notice that it's not entirely even, that is totally fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can kind of look more like a textured bob if it isn't perfect. I do recommend curling it because that will just kind of help to disguise any pieces that may be more uneven and a little bit more noticeable, and it will just help it to look more realistic. When you are curling your hair, if you are using a wand or just wrapping your hair around a curling iron, you shouldn't have to worry about this, but if you are using a curling iron that has a clamp, make sure that you're really careful when you're pulling on the pieces that have been pinned up with the bobby pin, because if you pull too hard on them, you could pull the bobby pin right out. This style looks great left down, but I decided to spice things up a little bit and I added a decorative pin to my hair. You can do that if you would like. That is also a really good idea. If you have some pins that are showing, you can take the hair and lay it over the pin that is showing and place the decorative pin to kind of disguise everything. So this pretend long bob is complete. If you found this tutorial to be helpful, then make sure to hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you try this style out, definitely send me a picture. I would love to see how it comes out.